I will move to the biggest game of the weekend. Liverpool at the Anfield War, the title contenders war, early one this season at Anfield. We have had some very interesting games already in the season, and that's why this season is already exciting for us. Just 3 games in at Anfield. Firmino, I know you're there, going to have your views on this one. Man, like if Liverpool has scored 7 goals, considered 4. Arsenal has scored 6, considered none so far this season. Arsenal has 6 points, Liverpool has 6 points. Yeah, but the goal difference is Arsenal has 5, I think 5 or 6 goals, 6 goals different. Liverpool has 4 or 3. I can't remember right now. How do you see this one panning out? Arsenal missing Saka and Odegaard is not guaranteed to play in that game as well. But they brought in Eze last Saturday and obviously has trained with the team all through this week and has been playing for Crystal Palace. So fitness might not be an issue except for adaptation. So how do you see this game panning out? I don't know. Frimpong is not going to be there. Szoboszlai played right back and he did very well against Newcastle last weekend. I don't know, on Monday, I mean. How do you see this one panning out?
Well, you know how it is. I think they are the top. Obviously, you have to count City still. So those are the top 3 teams right now, So it's a clash. It's a proper clash of the Titans, really. However, that being said, Liverpool is home. They should have more character going into the game. But you cannot write off Arsenal too, because if Arsenal come in with that mindset that we're not going to lose that game, it's going to be a tough one. Like I've always said, styles make fights, So looking at the front line, I think we already know VG is about that. My man scored a brace last week, so he's proper pumped up. Maybe they might struggle because I don't think Saka is playing. So Martinelli or Trossard, they don't really give you much like that. They're not people that you can. They one of them ones that blow hot or cold. Now there's Eze coming in, so it will be good to see where your gaffer plays him. But if we're looking at it from a pundit, a neutral standpoint, I reckon that game might be a draw. But obviously, I'm Chelsea, so we're going to look at it from a biased point of view. I believe Arsenal is going to lose that game, and I want them to lose that game proper.
Ogum, key matchups in that game, like if you mentioned Vitor Gyökeres against Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Martinelli's case is interesting. He has always had good games at the Anfield. So I believe Arteta might start him in this game because he has always done well. He has scored there and really done well against Liverpool at Anfield. So probably he will start that game. His matchup with Szoboszlai, if he still plays in the right back position. Another matchup will be Ekitike going against Saliba and Gabriel. He also has to be maintained in the midfield, going toe-to-toe with Florian Wirtz. How do you see these key matchups and which one is looking more enticing for you?
It's going to be a good one. The matchup between Gyökeres and Konate and Van Dijk will be interesting. In fact, those defenders will love, marking Gyökeres because Gyökeres is physical and they like physical, right? If you want to destabilize Konate and Van Dijk, give them someone that's like a Kitike. Give them someone that's like Isak. Players like that are not that are very light on their feet, have nimble footwork, do channel running and all that. So I think they will have probably an easy one fighting against Gyökeres, but Gyökeres is up for the physical battle any day. So we look forward to that. That's going to be fascinating to watch. And then I'm thinking who is going to play from the right will be key to this battle because over the past few meetings, Saka has been a key player against Liverpool. Saka has always either scored or assisted against Liverpool, always gives them problems. I'm hoping that Noni can provide the same level of performance if he's laughing. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Whether he starts, if he starts, I trust him. I think he can do what Saka does in terms of putting a level of pressure on that side of the defense and not allowing their fullback do what Kirkes and the rest of them do what they like to do, move up and down and be a problem for us. So on the other hand, Ekitike has shown what he can do. Fine player, he plays like Isak, always there, back and forth, skillful, uses his chances, takes his chances, which makes it quite scary. So Saliba and Gabriel will have to be on their feet throughout the game and make sure that they don't let him slip in. Of course, Salah is there. Whoever plays left back for us now will be key, right? Do you play Calafiori? Calafiori has struggled against Salah in the past. Or do you play, what's his name? Excuse me, Maslow Skelly?
MLS, yes.
Yeah, a bit of a better matchup for Salah, but he tends to lose concentration sometimes, and if Salah gets his chance, he scores. So now, for me, the key to Arsenal in this game would be Eberechi, right? He will be an X factor. He's new. Nobody knows what to expect from him in an Arsenal shirt, right? So what position is he going to play? Is he going to play number 10 or is he going to play from the left? I think that typically what Arteta may do may be to at least provide some structure. If you cannot win it, don't lose it, right? If you cannot win the game, make sure you don't lose the game. The worst case scenario will be a draw. So I cannot predict what Arteta will do. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm confident. I'm confident that Arsenal will not lose.
I hear you. Before I go ahead and make my comment, let's read some interesting. This one is generating chats. Liverpool will beat Arsenal 2-1. Firmino, of course, you're a Liverpool fan. And John says Arsenal is going to score first in that match. Okay, John says you want Arsenal to lose. Talking about if you lie, it will be the other way around. And then we have the big man, the Pele himself, Humphrey Nadiato. He said key matchup is in the midfield. How does Zubi hold up in controlling possession and tempo? Yeah, that's an interesting one. And Firmino said, others, I love that your analysis in that Bucharest Canute and visual explanation. Yeah, get your flowers right there. And Humphrey says, if they allow Bucharest to stand there in the middle and get beat up all game by VVD and Canute, then like against Man United, it will be a long day. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how this game is going to go. Like we're talking about the matchups. Szoboszlai really, really impressed me in their game against Newcastle. And he didn't play that right back as a traditional right back, even with the pace of Gordon, Harvey Barnes, and Elanga. He was still playing that right back, inverted, going to the midfield, even going to help Van Dijk and Konate sometimes in the middle of the defense. I wonder how he's going to do that, because in this game, Arsenal, we know, like to keep their wingers very wide and up the pitch. So it's going to be interesting how whoever is going to play the left wing for Arsenal is going to match up with Szoboszlai if he plays in that right position. Talking about what Humphrey just mentioned right there in the middle, Zubimendi, I put it in those matchups too, because I've been watching. A lot of people are saying Florian Wirtz hasn't really shown in Liverpool shirt, but I've watched him keenly. That guy is very, very technical and is very intelligent on the ball. I see him as a player that might cause serious damage for Arsenal in this game, because he doesn't engage in physical battles. He does his thing in what Gun calls a cerebral player. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. It's early in the season. Because that I know might not really want to go out to win this one, because he doesn't like to lose against contenders. He might go into that game playing for a draw, and if they hoping that Bucharest gets one of those chances and slot it in. So it's going to be a very interesting game for neutrals, even for fans. I don't think anybody will want to miss this game. It's going to be very, very interesting. As an Arsenal fan, of course, I hope Arsenal wins, and they have what it takes to win that game. But again, Liverpool have been scoring goals with reckless recklessness. Though the hope Arsenal is going to happen in this game is Liverpool are conceding goals against anybody, and this has been happening. One more key thing for me, I don't know if you guys agree. I've watched Liverpool all through the preseason and this season. They tend to tire out about an hour into all their games. That has been something that been prevalent in Liverpool games, even in preseason. People like Ekitike, they barely finish any game. Same with Florian Wirtz. So it's going to be very interesting how they're going to handle Arsenal in this one. I don't know, even like if you have anything to touch base before we move to City and Brighton around the top.
Arsenal will be handled. Arsenal.
Is there if is this your wish or you're just talking based on
Arsenal will be handled? Here's why I feel Arsenal will be handled. You look at, obviously you have Gapo, you have Ekitike and Salah Maleku. Then in the mid you have Florian Wirtz, whatever, however they pronounce that dude's name.
Wirtz, they call it Wirtz.
Yeah, the name always does my mouth in. But
I know.
When you look at, I really wish Freepong plays that game because they need Soboslai and McAllister too. You know, it might be a cagey one. You know, it might be a cagey one. I'm not impressed with Kanute. I'm not impressed with Kanute. You know, his inconsistency is putting pressure on Van Dijk, and they might have one of those iffy moments that may lead to VG doing that horrible celebration. You know, so I don't feel.
Do you have any response to that?
The celebration that's barely started is already horrible. you better get a picture and get a picture of that celebration and put it in your living room because you're gonna keep seeing it and seeing it. Not like you started hating the thing too early.
Obviously,
you're in trouble.
You know, when are we even playing? Who's playing home first?
Even Arsenal Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think it's sometime next month. All these big games are coming in early.
But
what's your final take on this game before we move to Brighton City?
My final take would be I would say Arsenal. I hope 1-0 or 2-1.
Oh, okay. Them man's are dreaming, you know. These guys are jokes.
The keyword is I hope. Realistically, I'll probably say 1-1 or 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I believe it's going to be a draw because Arteta is not going to go out there and be expansive. Yeah, Arsenal are really, they are very focused defensively this season. I've seen so far. If they continue with what they have done this season, I don't think they will just go there set up for a draw. Because for me, if you can win the game, fine. A draw won't be a bad result at this stage because you don't want to lose touch with your biggest rival or contender you're contending against this season this early enough. So I want Arsenal to be in touch with Liverpool as they progress so that anything happens, you're ready to pounce on the opportunity. The next game is Brighton are hosting Manchester City this weekend. Brighton is a very interesting team that sometimes when they play against these big teams, they find their rhythm. And City right now don't want to deal with a team like Brighton. I don't know. Ugo, before you say anything, let me read comment from Humphrey right quick. He says, Zubi and Vase matchup doesn't bother me as much as the speed and physicality of Gravenberch and Jones. When we are in possession, Partey could absorb the pressure, contact, and play through it. Okay. And John says, you want to get defeat in Lions Den, boss. Yeah, so Odo, what's your take? Brighton are hosting City this weekend. Brighton have 1 point, lost to Everton last weekend. The surprise result of last weekend. City as well lost 2-0 to Tottenham. So both of them are not in the good, in the best of times right now.
Yeah, Brighton City again. It will be a highly contested game, but please, I love Humphrey's take on. Sorry, let me just go back to that. The Gravenberch is still underrated, man. That boy is a player. Look at the goal he scored. Look at the way he took that goal he scored last week. That was like Thomas Partey, like just stroked it into the corner. You know, it's not. It wasn't nothing forced. It was just a player that's at the top of his game, doing what he wanted to do. All right, so that guy is someone that's going to. Arteta may do well to probably play Merino in that game. Yeah, someone needs to take care of Gravenberch because everything flows through him for Liverpool.
For Liverpool in
So
the midfield,
I just wanted to mention that. Then for Brighton City, I see a City win. I think Brighton they are picking up much like Bournemouth, much like Brentford and the rest of them, but still not strong enough. City were really strong last week. Pep, you could see the look on his face, with all the players he bought, being summarily beaten like that by Tottenham must have really hurt. So I'm sure they will come out fighting against Brighton, and I see a City win.
Malak, what's your take on this game? What's your high take? What's the hot take on this game for this fixture? I mean, these two teams have
Yeah.
lost one game each. City has won one, and Brighton has drawn one and lost one.
Yeah, they lost against Everton, which was shocking too. I didn't think they should have lost that game, but you see, that's the good thing about football. If it was predictable, everybody for done they cash out for Sporty Bet or Bet Ninja, So that one was a shocker too. I must admit, Grealish played really well in that game. So we give credit to Everton too. With Brighton, you really don't know. They might even come up to the weekend game playing their best football, But I think everyone will be leaning on to City doing the numbers. I think it might not be easy. I see City probably edging this one. Maybe like a 2-1 or 3-2. I believe there will be goals in that game though. So for the betting fans out there, put both teams to score. Goals.
Yeah, for me, tactically speaking, Brighton are strong. Whereas City right now are not really doing well, which is in the midfield. Brighton is a team that knows how to hold possession. And if you go to the matchup of whoever plays right back for City against what's that guy's name? The guy from Asia.
Mitoma.
Mitoma. You know he will mesmerize anybody that plays in either of those fullback for City. So Brighton has what it takes to beat City, and they're playing at home as well. And they have always been difficult for big teams to handle. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if Brighton wins City or they get a draw in that game. Manchester City, obviously, with Haaland, because Brighton, the bad thing, the weakness they have is they give up chances because they're a team that want to get on the ball. And when they do that, when they want to play or go forward, they give up chances. And a player like Haaland behind you, you don't do that against him. So if that happens, obviously, Haaland will get his goals as usual, as he does. So I don't know what to call that game. With Brighton not having just 1 point in 2 games, they might be fighting. And what's his name? Welbeck, sometimes when he sees these big teams, he stands up. And he might not like him, but he's been quite effective for Brighton since he joined them. And he is their first choice. Even when Pedro was there, most of the time, the coach usually prefers to play with Welbeck. So I don't know, but like your last words before we move on and round up.
I think City edged that one, 2-1 or 3-2, only just because they're going through a rough spell themselves too, and they're looking to bounce back. So I think looking at Looking at Pep from last week, my man was gutted. He was absolutely under the radar about everything. He couldn't even figure out what went wrong with his City squad. Like you said, my man spent almost 200 mil or almost 300 mil on players, and they're not gelling to the best of it. But they would have always still struggled the moment KDB left. We all knew that.
Mm-hmm.
They're also in transition, so some of these things happen. I don't think Rodri is proper fit. Kovacic is still out injured. I'm worried. Foden is not even in the picture. Bernardo Silva here and there. He's also aging, so this might also probably be his last season.
Yeah, we say
Yeah,
that every season there's going to
they,
be City. Then they find a way to make it to stay back.
yeah,
Okay, let's get into
they
our predictions. Ugum, let me start with Tiffy. Chelsea, Fulham.
3-1 Chelsea.
Ugum, what about you?
2-1 Chelsea.
I predict a 1-1.
Obviously, before.
United, Burnley. Tiffy.
I go a draw. 1-1.
Ugum.
2-0 United.
I go 2-1 United. Brentford traveling all the way to Sunderland. One like Iffy.
Brentford won the last game, so I believe Brentford might win that one. 2-1.
Okay. Ugo.
Brentford 2-0.
I'll go 3-2 Brentford. Bournemouth traveling to Tottenham Stadium.
3-0 Spurs.
Yes, sir. Ugo.
2-2.
Yeah. I was going to predict 2-2. Everton away to Wolves.
1-1.
Ugo.
2-1 Wolves.
Okay. I go 2-1 Everton. Leeds are home to Newcastle.
Newcastle 3, Leeds 0. I feel Leeds are going to struggle this season.
Ugo.
Newcastle 2, Leeds 1.
I go Newcastle 3-1. Arsenal at Anfield.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Arsenal.
Arsenal 3-1. Arsenal win 3-1.
These man's are dreamers.
Brighton City.
That's a tough one. I see goals. City just 3-2.
Ugo.
City just 3-2.
Ooh.
Man like Iffy.
At the last game of the weekend, Aston Villa, who has been struggling at home to Crystal Palace. And I would have loved to discuss that game, but we don't have too much time. Man like Iffy. Crystal Palace are traveling to Villa Park.
I think the loss of Eze is going to affect Crystal Palace, and Villa need to start putting numbers on the board. So I'm going with a Villa win on that one, maybe 2-1.
Ugo.
Villa are struggling. I'll do 2-1 Crystal Palace.
And I will do 2-2. So our viewers, the 3 games for this weekend, don't forget, if you get these results correctly, you win a jersey of your favorite club, the Anfield War, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Everton, Manchester City. Then we will go with another London derby for Chelsea. Chelsea against Fulham. These 3 games, if you get the scoreline correctly, you stand the chance of winning your favorite jersey. We take our last comments.
Meanwhile, Bayern Munich are facing Arsenal. They are facing Chelsea at home, PSG away, Club Brugge at home, Arsenal away, Sporting at home, PSV away.
Yeah, the draw is on, yeah.
Union, yeah. So, yeah, Arsenal are going to play Munich.
Yeah, so the last comment of the day is Humphrey says football is not monopoly. At the end of the day, the managers have the mesh, all the fancy toys they are buying. They're buying together and get results on the pitch, obviously. Yeah, so guys, don't forget to send in your predictions before the weekend games start, before Chelsea plays Fulham, on all our social media handles and YouTube, Facebook. Okay, John said we should put the matches. That is, we have Chelsea versus Fulham. We have Arsenal. No, sorry. Liverpool versus Arsenal, and Brighton versus City. So these 3 games are the games you are to predict. All our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, sending your predictions before Chelsea plays against Fulham. And we'll put those predictions when we come back on Sunday or Monday for the review. We'll announce the winners if we have any. Thank you guys in the comment section. Humphrey, it's good to have you, Pele. One of these days, you need to get on this show and have this chat with us. Man, like if you always, Ugum, always, anytime we call upon you. And guys, we have our brand new studio as well. You can see behind me here. I'm trying to put it together for you guys. Very soon, we're going to be having Ugum and other pundits live in the studio. I'll have some one-on-ones to talk about this game. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.